Let's go!
Well, we're going to do a little something different this show. We are going to eat our Thanksgiving dinners while we're on the air with you guys because it is the weekend. Welcome to the weekend. Nick Karski and Zensky here with you. Happy Friday, happy weekend. How are you, my friend?
Never been better because we're celebrating the holidays a little early. We've got the goods. Some mashed potatoes, some turkey.
Look at that.
Some corn, some other goodness, all on one giant plate. Would you like to show everybody the giant plate of food? Because we basically have the same identical mix of food. Look at he's trying to hold it up.
How did we manage that?
And look at that.
See that.
Look at it's a breaded, deep fried sort of turkey or some nonsense. Cornbread, mashed potatoes, a plate of corn is on there as well. A little bit of corn. Look at you. We just went all out here. Should I show everybody that I've got the same exact thing?
You should. Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this chaos. This thing is like a 4-pound plate. How the hell do you expect me to eat all of this for my Thanksgiving meal?
Well, I mean, wait, how much do you normally eat during Thanksgiving? Don't you normally eat like 4 pounds of food?
I do. I think I do, but like, holy hell, this plate feels so incredibly heavy.
I have like just 1 pound of pie.
I usually drink a gallon of wine. That's usually how I go. Are you
Speaking of which, what kind? I was going to ask you first. What kind of wine do you have there?
I got some red wine here to go along with the Thanksgiving meal that we've got here onto the weekend. Are you planning on doing anything for the holidays? Because I know a lot of people are kind of on the edge of uncertainty of what they're going to do, if they're going to do anything, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think we are at this time planning on going to my parents' place in New York.
Really? So you're going to go down there. Good for you.
Yeah. Jen and I have both been, laying low, just only like going to the grocery store and that's it. And then same thing with them. They've been laying low. So we feel pretty good about just being the 6 of us. It's going to be no more than that. So trying to stay, obviously safety is the top priority. So, but what about you guys?
It's tough, man. I really don't know what's going to happen. I have a feeling that we're going to be actually laying low. It's going to be the 2 of us. Might have a family member to stop by to say hi or something like that. Maybe we'll do some socially distancing, waving and everything like that. But I don't know. I mean, it's just a really tough time. It's really kind of scary. We're going through a little bit of some health protocols right now to make sure everything is going smooth, everything is going safely with us here during this pandemic. But it's just tough having been through COVID already to possibly run into it again would be something pretty scary to have to deal with. So that's our current situation.
And if you are listening or watching, I think the only thing we can tell you is just be smart about it, whatever you're doing. We obviously can't dictate, or many people can't dictate what you can and cannot do with your families, but just be smart about it.
That's about all you can do.
Please, for the sake of the country, please be smart about it.
That's about all you can do. I mean, on the bright side, I mean, it looks like we're getting closer and closer and closer to some vaccines being on
huge news this week.
Yeah, on the rise. So, who knows what that means for everything and everybody. I mean, obviously it means a handful of things, but there's a lot of obstacles that still have to be figured out, and a lot of different X's and O's that need to be game planned out, if you will, when it comes to all of this. So we'll look forward to seeing what happens when all of this is kind of given to us, if you will.
That is very true, and I know that's not one of the headlines that we have, but we do have some other headlines for this week that we could get to. So let's get into it.
Here's what you missed.
All right. So to kick us off, we obviously had a baseball-packed show last week.
Yeah.
Shout out again to Mr. Matthew McCarthy for being on the air, and thank you for everybody for giving us some great feedback on the show. But we would be remiss if we didn't mention some big baseball news that came out after that show aired. Kim Ng is the first female general manager in the history of Major League Baseball, thanks to Derek Jeter and the Miami Marlins. So I think that deserves a round of applause among many
female to, if I'm not mistaken, be a general manager in North American sports. I mean, that's just huge. I mean, this is a woman who has been around the game of Major League Baseball for a lot of her career. A lot of people have said over the last 10 years or so, it was only a matter of time until she got a position like this. And,
no kidding.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's been around the game for some time. She's been around the block. She knows what she's doing. Eventually working her way up the ladder, you know, and everything like that. So for her to open the door like she is, I mean, that just speaks volumes to what anybody in this world could possibly do.
100%. And I mean, obviously, huge news for her breaking that glass ceiling, and it's just a really cool story, because you said how she's been around the league a while, and just for her, who her managers have been. I mean, worked under Joe Torre, worked under Brian Cashman, worked under all of these people, and now to have her come full circle and work under a player who she used to oversee, essentially. She talked about during her press conference about how she used to watch Jeter bring the energy on the field, and for him to be doing that same thing now as the owner of the Miami Marlins is just nothing short of impressive and a little poetic, I think.
Yeah, you know? Well, I also think this goes to show you that, and this goes to show you where baseball is going. It is going much more towards an analytics, baseball savvy, baseball smart sort of style, and you don't have to be an old former ball player in order to be a GM like you kind of had to way back in the day. I mean, you don't have to have any sort of true baseball experience, and by that I mean more or less stepping on the field, playing 9 innings, game in, game out. So I think it's one of those things where this is going to open the door for a lot more people, a lot more women, a lot more folks who are probably deserving of being in those rightful positions, quite frankly.
100%. And I think, you know, a lot of us will say it's long overdue, but hey, shout out, really good way to start, I guess, the 2021 MLB season in a way.
Yeah.
Next on the list, not as feel good as that. This is a little more head scratchy, but there is a school in France that is asking parents to stop throwing their late students over the gate. That's the headline.
Excuse me?
Yep. So, an elementary school in France put up a pair of posters outside their fence with an unusual request for parents: don't throw late students over the closed gate. The Triade School in Avignon put up signs outside its gate showing a cartoon of a parent sending a small child airborne to get over the... Sorry. I didn't read this yet, but I just read the... Please, it asks parents not to... It's a poster of a parent sending a small child airborne. Just visualize that for a second. And that's the story. Instead, they need to wait for the gates to be opened at 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. And I just have a question on that. If the gates open at 3 p.m., that kind of implies that the day is done. So is your kid just mixing that day of school then, if you didn't chuck him over the fence? You look miserable.
This makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Is it that or the fried turkey you're eating?
No, it has to do with the fact that this is something that legitimately is happening. Like, I feel like I just need to go in my hoodie and just, like, cave up in here and, like, tunnel myself in here so that nobody can see me and be a part of what's going on. I mean, this... Like, how do you explain that? Like, it just feels so absurd to me.
Yeah. I mean, we could say... I mean, we could say it's a rule of absurdity. And we could bring that bit back eventually, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, that's just wild.
I feel like there's so many comments that I'm going to keep to myself so I don't get in trouble.
So we don't insult the French.
So many different things I want to say. Just so much confusion on my end. Like, are you literally hucking your kid and just tossing him over there and seeing what happens? I mean, is there a game amongst parents where they're trying to see, like, hey, who gets the most points for the most children? Like, what is the situation here?
Is the French team taking that up in the next Olympics? It's kid chucking.
Man, I don't know. It's just bizarre. Like, we've talked about a lot of bizarre stuff on here before. We've talked about, you know, a world record being held by some guy who took a bunch of what are they called? Clothespins, to his face to give himself like 3,000 clips or 300, I don't know, whatever the hell it was, on his face.
We did the rubber duck thing. We did that largest shamrock in your hometown of Elmira. We've done a bunch of weird things, but I think, well, and I hate to say it, but I know the next headline, it's not really a headline, but it's something that you noticed today that you want to give a little PSA, right?
Look, if I happen to see a business that is doing things wrong when it comes to living in this pandemic that we're currently in, I'm not going to keep quiet anymore, because I've experienced all of this just a little too close to home. And when I happen to see a chain restaurant, whose name I actually won't mention, but if you happen to follow me on Twitter at Nick_Karski, I'm sure you can find it there. A chain restaurant that is very famous for its Mexican fare. I'll leave it at that. I happen to be near that store, near that restaurant, I should say, earlier today. And I see a team of workers prepping for the upcoming day. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe they were prepping food. Maybe they were just cleaning things up. I have no idea. I couldn't really tell that well. But what I could tell is that not one of the 3 people that I saw were wearing their masks. And if you work in a cubicle and you're sitting there for 7.5 hours of the 8 hours by yourself, hardly any interaction, I've heard of some businesses that are saying, okay, you know what? If you want to be a little bit looser with the mask regulations, okay. Just make sure you clean up, sanitize, etc., etc., etc. when you leave. This is a place that handles food. This is a place that handles a public service, if you will, of being able to consume food at this business. The fact that none of those people were wearing masks just blows my mind. And so I did what maybe I should have done, maybe what I shouldn't have done. I don't know. But you know what? In the moment, I thought to myself, I'm going to call in to New York State and I'm going to make this known, because again, I've lived through all of this, and to me this is something that is near and dear to my heart. And again, I want to get over this thing as quick as the next person. I want a vaccine as quick as the next person. I don't want to wear my mask anymore either. I'm sick and tired of doing that. But at the same time, it's the protocols that we have to take at this moment, at this time, right here, right now. That's the world, unfortunately, we're living in. And if you want to keep living in this world, well, just wear your damn mask so that we're not putting you 6 feet under at some point or another.
Right. And I completely agree with you. You should have called them out. And it's tough to say because you don't know how much of it is a reflection on the actual brand as it is on those like actual employees. But I mean, the buck has to stop somewhere, right? And so I think regardless of whether or not the restaurant's franchised or how it's set up, like, it's still not a good look for them because, you gave them some crap, and rightfully so. So, just be better, people.
It just makes no sense.
Be smart. It doesn't.
It's so frustrating. It's one of those things where, again, this whole situation that we're in, unfortunately, is not going to die down for the foreseeable future. Will we see things slow down here come January? Will we see things slow down come February? I don't know. I don't want to make that guess. Reckless speculation tells me maybe that will be the case towards March. But at the end of the day, what we have to do right now is wear our masks, socially distance, wash our hands, all that other BS that we don't like doing. Like, let's face it, none of us actually like doing that stuff in some sense. Like, it becomes tiresome, and we feel like we're being controlled. And I get that.
It's stressful,
but at the same time, just do your due diligence and do it. Like, I understand some people think it's some sort of, government mandates and this, that, and the other. Like, at the end of the day, like, we just got to do something to prevent this whole thing from going out of control and escalating like it really is. Like, we got to slow things down a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, we do, but I think looking at like a silver lining here It is a Mexican restaurant, right? And I don't think a lot of people are going to be consuming a lot of Mexican fare around Thanksgiving coming up, which is why we're having our fried.
It doesn't matter, man. Like,
No.
I'm sorry, it doesn't
No.
matter.
You totally agree. I'm just trying to get to the next segment.
Sorry, I'm on my high horse. I can't help it right now.
Anything else on the shaming the fast food subject?
No, not for now. I mean, I think we're kind of done with that for right now because I think I got my point across. I don't know, just wear your damn masks. I want to get married here at some point, so just let it happen, okay?
Yeah, you got a lot going on, but now let's just blatantly segue to other food, which
Yeah.
I was trying to get to.
Oh, okay.
Because we're obviously having our turkey dinners right now, our fried turkey dinners, our corn, mashed potato. What are your sides, by the way? What did you get for your
Corn
sides?
and mashed potatoes. I took 2 bites of it and I
Did
gave
we get
up
the same
on it.
sides?
It
We
was-
didn't even communicate that?
I don't know. Is that you just asked me what I got and I just told you. So does that mean we got the same things or no?
We got the exact same thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, this place that we won't mention was trying to offer up like a roasted squash triple cheese fiesta nonsense. Get the hell out of here with
Nope.
that nonsense. That brings up a
Well-
good point that look, there are 5 dishes or 5 favorites that everybody has for Thanksgiving. Everybody has I want to say a list, but everybody seems to have a number of food that they just really gravitate to and food that really, it makes the Thanksgiving Day meal. As he takes another bite. And now he consumes.
Yes, it does.
Now he's chewing. Am I going to do this? Am I going to be talking to myself here as you consume? This happens all the time on my show because,
I didn't.
well, as I say, we have a tasting Tuesday where I get to drink beer and talk some sports. So, I mean, it happens if there's a couple of seconds of dead air or you've got to rely on the other person to do.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to go a little longer, so I thought I had some time for a bite of turkey.
Well, here's the thing. I figured at this point, since I'm a radio person and we in radio like countdowns and top 5s and power rankings and all that other nonsense, because that's what sports talk radio has quickly turned into for some terrible, awful reason, I feel like we need to power rank the top 5 Thanksgiving Day foods.
You don't say.
I do say. That's why I said we should do it. That's the segment. That's a part of the show. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
No, I will go first since I'm done. I'm done chewing right now.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
All right, hold
for
on. We
now.
got some imaging here.
Number 5.
Ooh, look at you. All right, number 5, cornbread.
Really?
Yes. That actually should probably be a little higher on my list now that I think of it, but regardless, it's definitely in the top 5, cornbread.
Now, a lot of cornbread seems to be on the drier side with not much flavor, at least in my past experiences.
This cornbread actually isn't too bad. It's a good size.
It's the same cornbread that I had earlier. Let me tell you, this stuff was not that good, okay?
You did? Oh, maybe they just. It's a state difference thing.
It's got to
Who
be a
knows?
little bit on the
But
sweeter side, too.
It does. And Jenna and I actually, so after we got back from Disney, we made a recipe of cornbread, which is from one of their dinner shows that they have in property. And like we found the recipe and we made it, and it was like so good. It was scratched too. So you actually took the cornmeal and the sugar and the oil. That was probably the best bread that I had. Cornbread that I had ever.
Apparently my cat Kess agrees with you because he's just like
I was gonna say
just meowing like crazy all of a sudden.
Number 4.
All right, number 4 for my top favorite Thanksgiving foods, turkey.
Turkey gets a bad rep for some reason, and I don't understand why that is. But turkey really isn't all that bad, and it's not one of those meats that you go to all that often. Let's face it, a lot of people have it just for Thanksgiving, and then they bitch and complain about it and just, oh, it's not that good, it's so bad, blah, blah, blah. You have it probably once a year, okay? Just like shut your yap and put it in your trap and enjoy what you're consuming.
It's interesting because Jenna and I actually have turkey a lot. When we make tacos for dinner, we actually make it with ground turkey because it's healthier.
Yeah, a lot of people do that stuff. So there you go. I mean, it's a good choice. I like that. Turkey at number 4.
Number 3.
Number 3 is stuffing. Plain and simple.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, Kess? You totally agree? I'm glad he does.
Number 2.
Number 2, mashed potatoes.
See, I think mashed potatoes are a little overrated.
You're overrated.
No, I just think that they're not that. I mean, I think they're good, but I just feel like for some reason there are different ways of consuming a potato that could be significantly better than mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, that's the only way to consume consume potatoes on Thanksgiving Day, but I think there are other variations of potato that are superior.
Yes, I agree. Like a French fry is better than a mashed potato, but that doesn't feel Thanksgiving for me. Mashed potatoes feels like Thanksgiving.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Number 1.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Apple pie. Or any type of dessert pie, except pumpkin pie.
And like I was going to say,
pumpkin.
pies just don't do it for me. Like no matter what kind of pie it is, if it's apple pie, peanut butter pie, pumpkin pie, it just doesn't do it for me.
Well, listen, going back to what we just said about the potatoes, like if we're talking like cake or pie, I'll take cake any day, but in the context of Thanksgiving, I feel like that's a very pie-centric holiday.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You're right about that. So I can understand why you take that as a number 1.
So that's the top 5. Cornbread, turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and apple pie. And now, my friend, I will pose the question to you. What is your top 5?
Well, funny you should ask.
Number 5.
I got a top 5 too. I'm gonna go with the gobble here that we got in turkey because like I said earlier, it's one of those things where, I mean, a real true turkey dish, like you're not. A lot of people don't just grab a huge 20 some odd pound turkey and say, "Hey, it's May. Let's just consume a turkey and cook it on up and see what happens." No, like everybody always has turkey for Thanksgiving. More or less, it's like the only time you're ever going to actually eat turkey is on Thanksgiving. Just like grow up.
It's the only time you see
it.
full. It's the only time you see full turkeys like in the stores too.
Well,
like, can you actually go to the store, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 4.
I'm going to go with a little bit more of an element to the Thanksgiving dinner. That's gravy. I understand that I should probably be going the route of like a green bean casserole or going with something more like mashed potatoes. But I really feel like gravy is what makes a lot of a Thanksgiving meal float and work well. I don't know why I said float. Maybe it's the red wine kicking in. But I feel like it's makes the meal really, really go.
Gravy does flow out of the gravy boat.
That's
right?
true.
I mean, and you could say gravy is gravy.
Yeah, no, it is. You put it on everything. You put it on anything. You can execute the gravy on just about anything and everything in the history of ever. You want it on your roll? There you go. You want it on your mashed potatoes? Okay. You want it on your corn? You want it on something else? There you go. Boom. You're going to be perfectly fine. A-OK gravy at number 4.
Number 2.
Ah, shoot, we skipped one. Let's go back to the imaging.
Number 3.
There we go. I'm going to go with the buttery, wonderful world that is crescent rolls. And you've got to get crescent rolls. They've got to be buttery. They've got to be nice. They've got to be delicious. They've got to be flaky. They've got to be delectable. They've got to be nice. You've got to enjoy the delight that is a crescent roll.
Dude, I forgot about crescent rolls because typically my family doesn't do that.
Rolls?
Because we usually do like just sliced bread, like rye bread, white bread, pumpernickel bread.
No. Bread
sometimes.
is good, but bread is not the way to go. You got to go with some sort of rolls or biscuits or something like that.
I totally agree. Yeah, yeah, I concur.
All right, well then
Number 2.
Then tell your family they do it wrong. Come on, guys.
Number 2.
I'm going to go with the stuffing. I think it is, without a doubt, one of the greatest inventions in the history of ever. It only tastes good on Thanksgiving. You can have it for any other holiday. It doesn't taste nearly as good. You can make it on a random fall day. It's not going to taste nearly as good. It's got to be consumed on the last Thursday of the month, which is Thanksgiving. It tastes the absolute best on that day and that day only.
You're not wrong.
I just took a
right
sip
there.
of wine.
That's it.
Alcohol.
Yep.
Now let me tell you about alcohol, okay? It can
Oh,
help
boy.
you through life's problems. It can make the banter at the Thanksgiving Day table a little bit better. It can make it more eventful, more exciting, more worse, I guess. There are many things that can happen, many variations of alcohol, but also many different things that can come about from drinking alcohol. And it makes the food go down a little smoother. I'm
noticing a trend here, because remember a couple weeks back we did that's some dinner coming up. When we were talking our election day snacks a couple of shows ago, you also said alcohol was your number one election day snack.
You need it to get through it. It's not
just
a want.
Pointing that out.
It's pretty much a need. To get through a Thanksgiving Day dinner, you need some booze.
I agree with you. Here's what I need some booze for, though. So we were in the car recently and browsing through the radio stations, and Jenna has one of the stations saved in her car that we scrolled past, and I heard Here Comes Santa Claus. And this was like November, within the first 2 weeks of November.
Yeah.
I instantly changed the channel because I said it's too early for Christmas music. You could play Christmas music after the turkey is carved.
Not before.
After it's carved.
All right.
What are your thoughts on that? I think that's way too early.
No, I agree. Here's the thing. I think when it comes to the holidays, you can celebrate them in a variety of different ways. The Christmas music, to me, it is a little bit early if you're having it pre-Thanksgiving Day meal. If you are having... or if you are decorating before Thanksgiving, if you have the Christmas tree up like we actually do because you find a nice weekend where you're together and everything and you can do it, I think that's fine. I'm all in with that. I think that's an okay idea. But when it comes to the Christmas music, I think you've got to wait a little bit of time. I think that's going to take a little bit of time before you actually get that stuff pumping.
Yeah. I agree. I think anytime after, again, the turkey's carved, like, you're set to go. But before that, like, do we really need 2 months of Jingle Bells and Here Comes Santa Claus and any of the other songs?
It is
like,
pretty jovial stuff. It is pretty jovial. It is pretty fun.
It is. And Jenna was saying, like, listen, I want my 2 months of Christmas this year because it's been a crappy year. And, like, I get that.
I don't disagree with that. I think that that's a reason to do it.
Yeah. But so we both seem to be on the page then of Christmas music is okay after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
That's the route to go.
Glad we settled that.
Should we settle it with other people?
You got somebody in mind?
I got a list of people we can go to.
All right. Well, I think let's get a poll out there. Let's see what people think.
We're gonna do an actual poll with this. Are we gonna actually keep track of it? James Heasley?
Yes, we will.
Let's see what happens with this guy. Probably won't answer his phone.
Again.
Hello? Hello?
Are you alone?
Okay, I hear humans. I don't know who this is. It doesn't sound like James. I have a feeling it's probably not James. But at the very least, Christmas music before Thanksgiving. Is it allowed, yes or no?
Absolutely not. Never.
The wife's always right.
That's true. Thank you, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah. I don't know. We didn't get an answer from James.
No.
We didn't get his answer, but like I said, the wife's always right. So, I mean, if Sarah says, hey, no Christmas music, then, I mean, she would know.
Bingo.
Should we call our friend Steph?
We should.
Okay. She's probably wondering why we're calling her again. Because we did this here about, a month and a half ago for the holidays, or for Halloween, I should say.
Halloween. We're talking about ghosts.
Karski?
This is the same exact way she started our conversation the last time we chatted with her. Steph, you are on to the weekend. A very important question. Christmas music before Thanksgiving. Yes or no? Does it have your approval or no?
This year, absolutely.
Okay.
I need all
right.
the joy and merriment, but normally I try to hold off until after Thanksgiving in a normal year.
Well, that just
So,
screws up our tally. I don't
I'm
know what
so
to do
sorry.
here. What do we mark it down as,
gotta-
Zensky?
You gotta have
we give
separate charts.
Yeah, we give half a
Pre-COVID
point
and
to each side.
post-COVID.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll give a half a point to each one then, I guess. All right, Steph, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Of course.
Steph.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. I don't know, because she kind of gave us like a 50-50 shot with all of that. I don't know what to do. Cam Denmark, let's see what he's up to. Producer at ESPN Ithaca. Now he's a boring grad student down at Missouri.
God.
Trying to get some better education here. Probably too busy making a box dinner.
Come on, Cam.
A Hello Fresh. What are the other ones that are out there?
Blue
We're
Apron.
not sponsored by any of them. We shouldn't say any of them. To hell with all of
But
those.
if you would like to,
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
All right, Cam, you're dead to me. Kess agrees. He's just been meowing like
what-
crazy for the last 20 minutes.
yeah. What is it? What is the cat thing? When does
Kess,
the cat like Christmas music?
what do you say about Christmas music? 2 meows. Kess, 2 meows for yes, 1 for no. Kess. He's 1. 2. It was 2.
Ooh.
It was back to back. Back to back. All right. Mark it down.
So wait, yes, it's too early, or yes for you're like yes, he wants to hear Christmas music.
I think he doesn't want to hear Christmas music. I think I said 1 for
Okay.
yes, 2 for no. So we're gonna go with 2 for no there.
Too early. Okay.
I wonder if we're
got
going to
it.
be cheating on Dan Doherty again, because last time we called Dan Doherty, who works with me at ESPN Ithaca, he was recording his own podcast.
What do you want?
Oh gosh, there he is. Are you recording your
I'm not
podcast
recording
right now?
my podcast, no.
Okay, we have a very important question for you on To the
Oh,
Weekend.
Uh-huh.
Christmas music before Thanksgiving, yes or no? Yay or nay?
Dude, it was playing like right after Halloween. So no.
Yeah, you went off on the air about this. You had a
I already
pretty
talked about
tough
it, yeah.
time. Tell the listeners of To the Weekend though your thoughts on that happening.
I mean, I've said this, yeah. I went to Target on Halloween, and it was all Christmas stuff. There was no Halloween stuff, and Christmas music was playing, and it was bothersome. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, wait till there's another holiday in between. There's no Thanksgiving music, but just wait. It's so early. Don't make me think about, buying presents and stuff already,
I like the way you think, Dan. I like the way you think. I appreciate the way you think.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, Dan, bye. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you, Dan.
Dan's the best. He is the best. He wasn't cheating on his podcast. That's good. Do we dare call Ben Ratner this time? What sort of terrible comment and terrible remark are we going to get from Ben Ratner if we call him again?
Like I said last time, you never know, but yeah, give him a ring.
Are you sure? Because I have a feeling
I'm
where
not.
this is
No,
going to
I'm
go.
not. But well, we can't. He doesn't celebrate Christmas.
That's where I feel like this is going to go. I feel
know.
like it's going to.
But should we call him
He's
anyway?
going to take it. No, he's going to take it to some terrible extreme. He's going to take it to some terrible extreme. I don't dare take it into some joke. Make some sort of.
Oh boy.
Hi, this is Courtney.
Of course. The doctor is busy right now. Doctor is busy. Do we call Andrew Champagne?
Yes.
Dear God. Come here, Cussy.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Champagne, you sound very excited to hear my voice.
I've been working on one email all day today for 8 hours, and it finally went out, so it feels like a boulder's been lifted off my back.
Oh, good. I didn't know I was going to get your entire life story there, but thank you. I appreciate it. You were on the To the Weekend podcast, and I need to ask you a very important question.
Oh,
Christmas
fantastic. What can I do for you?
Christmas music before Thanksgiving, yay or nay?
Not just nay, not just hell nay, the rarely seen hell effing nay.
Oh, God. Oh, Champagne, there's no cursing allowed here on this podcast.
That's why I
We'll
believe
allow it.
myself.
No, it's close enough because all the kids that listen, they know exactly what you're saying now.
you know what? That's the fault of society at large. I take no responsibility for the future of the planet. None.
Real quick before I let you go, I'm curious. If you do have a favorite holiday or Christmas song, what is it? Do you have a go-to?
I do, yes. It is every song from the season 3 episode of Community where they spoof Glee. Specifically, Baby Boomer Santa is what the kids would call a banger.
We could barely hear any of what you said, and I feel like we should keep it just at that. Thanks, Champagne.
Love you.
God.
Wait, now I'm like genuinely curious though. What did he say?
I don't know what he said. He had a whole bunch of marbles
so
in his
frustrating.
mouth. It's Champagne. That's what he does for a living, practically. He just talks all the time.
No. Apparently he writes emails for a living. He spent 8 hours on one today.
Oh my gosh, I don't.
Sounds
know.
awful.
I don't know what he's doing. He's I don't know. So the final tally.
Yeah.
Looks like it's about a 4.5 to 1.5.
4.5
to a half.
yeah.
I think. I don't know
if
because
it wasn't for
Steph's math really just threw me for a loop.
No. Regardless of how bad I am at math, I took that into account. So yes, so she said split it down the middle. In 2020, Christmas music gets a pass to be played before Thanksgiving.
Correct.
So yes, 4.5 people say too early for Christmas music, and then part of Steph says not too early for Christmas music. So 4.5 to a half.
Okay.
And you and I say it's too early, so overwhelmingly too freaking early for Christmas music.
So you're just very passionate about this. I feel like you're just really against the happiness and jolliness of the seasons, man.
No. Hey, I'm no Scrooge, man. I'm no Scrooge. I'm no Grinch. It's just I will say, like when I was going through the teenage years, like I was like, Christmas, it's like fine. But I'll admit, the last couple of years, like I've gotten a little joy of like going out and doing shopping, and Jenna and I always make it a point to go out on Black Friday to just like kind of feel a part of something, right?
Sure.
Obviously, we're not doing that this year.
I would hope not.
It is nice to just go to the store and like see everything, set up and the displays. But dude, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the holidays this year, but it's gonna be different. What does Kes think?
He's going right up to the microphone. Ooh. What do you got to say, bro? Man, if you could see this on YouTube, you're in for a treat right now. That was actually sort of adorable for all of the whining he's been doing for the last 20 minutes. That little moment there was actually a little adorable for all the whining he's been doing for the last 20 minutes.
That was his redemption right there.
Kes, what do you got to say to Zensky? What do you feel like about Christmas music again?
Talk to me, buddy.
Say something. No? All right. The hell with you. This cat, I swear, he's something. All right, buddy. Oh, there you go. He's something else.
So, so what have you been, like, have you thought at all? So, like, obviously, after the turkey's carved and it's socially okay to play Christmas music after Thanksgiving, are you doing any traditional shopping this year, or are you just doing everything online?
Oh, everything's going to be online for the most. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, I mean, the reason I say if I'm not mistaken is because I haven't actually done anything quite yet, and I am always somebody who does something last minute. But I feel like most, if not everything that I do, is going to end up being online.
Yeah, same here. I think there's always like the little part of you that wants to go again, like be a part of something and be among people and go out for a day and get lunch and shop and do this. But yeah, I think obviously this year that's not the brightest thing to do.
No, you're not wrong. And it's just the nature of the world right now, man. It's just what we're dealing with. It's just, everything that's going on, and better to be safe than sorry with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. But is your food done?
Oh, no, I've still got like a whole plate of food. I'm going to have to reheat it and consume all of it, and probably have to share some with this little mother bleeper who just won't stop meowing.
I apologize if you just heard like all sorts of chewing and stuff on the show, because like that was just too good not to eat.
It was actually good.
And I was hungry.
It feels like 4 pounds of food. I don't know how I'm going to actually be able to eat all of it.
I think I was just overwhelmingly hungry.
Oh, okay. Well, make sure you save some of that for the actual holiday that's coming up here in a couple, 1 week or so.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's coming up quick.
Yeah. Don't remind me. The end of 2020 is almost here.
Not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, man. That's not a bad thing
at all. All right. That'll do it for another edition of To The Weekend. Make sure you rate, subscribe, review wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on our social at To The Weekend Podcast. Hey, you stay classy, my friend.
You stay classy, my friend, and have a good weekend.
Peace.
Peace.